As we honor and celebrate Asian American and Pacific Islander Heritage Month, we're showing you videos of Asian Americans and Pacific Islanders speaking about their childhood and adult experiences.
Love that.
So we want you to share with us how your experiences as a biracial person of Asian descent differs or relates to these clips.
Sounds good.
Okay, well, I'm gonna have a lot to say. Let's get started, shall we?
Racially and ethnically, how do you identify?
So I'm Asian. That is my race. I'm Filipina and Japanese.
I am half Puerto Rican and half Filipino. I'm half Asian and half white, but I feel like I'm more Asian just because like I go to like my mom's hometown a lot in the Philippines.
I am an Asian American. I'm Japanese and Filipino.
I identify myself as a Chu, which is a Chinese Jew. It's a funny nickname my whole family has given me and my sister, since we both come from Jewish side and the Chinese side.
Being a multiracial Asian affects everything about my life. My culture is a mix of not just being Black and Asian, but also there's like a third thing that's not either of those.
On one hand, I was able to experience some white privilege, and on the other hand, I experienced certain prejudices and stereotypes of also being Asian.
I felt that.
We grew up being referred to as Hapa Haole, and as I grew, it became more of a widely accepted term for anyone who was part Asian. Often when I meet people, the very first question I get is, where are you from?
I've gotten that actually. I'm just like, I'm an American, like what the fuck?
It confuses people because they usually associate being American with being white. They don't really know how to react, and it usually comes off as offensive.
Yeah, a lot of people always, what are you? Where are you from? Los Angeles. I was born and raised in Los Angeles. No, where are you really from?
If I say, hey, I'm American, yeah, a lot of people tend to automatically assume that means I'm white. Americans, I believe, we're just a bunch of different things.
Fill in these blanks. When strangers look at me, they see. And when I look in the mirror, I see.
They see an Asian person who's probably not from America that came here when they were like younger. But to me, I just see an Asian American.
They usually just think I'm full Caucasian. Like every time I tell them I'm Asian, it's like, what? You're Asian? No way. Like, cause like, I mean, I don't look Asian at all.
Maybe people sometimes see me as Asian. Maybe some people have shockingly at one point said I was adopted. When I look into a mirror, I see a creative Emma, because that's the correct answer.
I would say a lot of people do expect me, how I present myself on social media. I'm always like, I'm very confident. I show myself off on social media, and even in public, I walk with my head high and strutting like the world is my runway. But when I look in the mirror, sometimes I see like, do I really fit in? Am I good enough? Am I proud of who I am? There's still a lot of second guessing to this day.
When strangers look at me, they see someone who they can't really describe because I don't fit a certain box. Like when I see myself, I just see who I am because I know me the best. I don't even see myself as like half Filipino. I see just a Filipino Puerto Rican, 100% on both ends. And it's beautiful. I've grown up being taught how beautiful it is. It's amazing.
All of the perpetual foreignization of Asian Americans in this country, it's what leads to the violence that we saw in Atlanta a couple of weeks ago. And the thing that really struck me about all of this is that, you look at the victims of that shooting, and
just hearing about it already is getting me like heated.
And I saw people who could have looked like members of my family, who could have been family friends of mine. I see my mom and my sister and my dad among a lot of these victims, and my grandparents among a lot of the victims to Asian American hate crimes right now. And so, the history of hate crimes in this country towards Asian Americans isn't new, but it hasn't been talked about. The Chinese.
Facts. I mean, there are a lot of races around the world getting harassed specifically, but in terms of Asian Americans, like no one wants to speak up,
The Chinese Exclusion Act, the murder of Vincent Chen in Detroit, the Japanese internment camps during World War II. This is nothing new, but it hasn't been talked about because Asian Americans haven't been willing to speak up about these issues.
It's such a big wake-up call. Like, if you look Asian, it's like you're a target, and I think that's the scary thing.
My dad said, It's been happening. There's just now that there's cameras, it's like everything's getting posted. I don't understand how some people can just have so much hate.
There was recently a Filipina woman, I think she was like 65 maybe, who was literally kicked to the ground in New York City. That's literally the age of my grandmother, of my great aunts, and I was like, please, like, it's so scary because you don't know what's gonna happen to them. Like, my grandma shouldn't be scared to go on a walk when she just wants to go on a walk for fun. My great aunt shouldn't have to worry about those types of things, but it's just so sad because we have to. I don't think enough people are talking about it for sure.
With the recent rise in anti-Asian violence, how do you lead or participate in conversations that bring awareness to the Stop Asian Hate social movement?
Oh, of course, yeah. A lot of my friends, they weren't really aware of this kind of problem in the world with the Asian American hate crime violence. And, you know, I just had like multiple conversations with them, long conversations about them, just kind of telling them about like what's going on and like why it's a problem and how it's been a problem.
I had a lot of friends, specifically who are Asian, call me and A, make sure I was okay, which I was, and B, talk to me about what I thought. But instead of using that as hatred and sorrow and depression, I use it as fuel to keep moving forward and keep living each day to the fullest I can, because I'm living life for myself, for my mother, for my family, and for those who are no longer with us.
Transracial adoption is where a child from one race or ethnicity is adopted by parents from a different race or ethnicity.
Right.
In my generation, children who were adopted from Korea were assimilated into the culture of their adoptive parents. So I was raised as if I were white. Growing up, occasionally my family would eat at a Korean restaurant or we'd go to the Asian festival, but I did not identify with being Asian. Looking back now, having my tattoo removed is symbolic of losing a connection with my Korean ethnicity and culture.
Oh my gosh, woo!
What responsibility do non-Asian parents who adopt Asian kids have when it comes to teaching their adopted kids about their native culture? Or is it the child's duty to learn on their own once they're old enough?
It's hard to say because, like, I would honestly be happy for that child to be taken care of just in general. Like, I'm not gonna be like, oh, you have to teach them these Asian things. But then again, it's also, I don't wanna, like, you know, just totally get rid of the fact that, yeah, that would be dope if they were able to learn like their heritage of exactly where they're from.
I think all parents should give the opportunities for your kids to learn about themselves. Okay, figure out who they are. As long as you give your kid an option to learn more about themselves, then I think that's the right thing.
I've always known where I'm from, and growing up, I feel like that's helped me develop a sense of pride and a sense of confidence walking out on the street knowing who I am. So it is important, especially during your development years. You want to know, like, you want to have a sense of pride of where you came from.
Should adopted families keep their adopted kids' birth names, or, as in Sarah's case, their adopted kids' tattoos or other cultural markings that are linked to their native heritage?
I think I think they should, you know, like, it defines who they are. Like, it's just a symbol of who that person is, you know, and if you remove that, it's kind of taking away a piece of them, you know?
You should let the kid decide if possible. And I know it's very weird because asking a baby like, hey, you know, what do you want to be called? Like, that's not how it's gonna work. So a simple solution is don't change anything until a little later.
Filipino culture and their traditions are in line with a lot of other Asian countries. We have the same kind of values. We teach, you know, high respect for elders, thriftiness. We celebrate the same festivals and traditions. We even take our shoes off before we enter the house.
Yes, oh my God. Yeah.
How Asian is that? And another point, food. I mean, look at this. We have very similar cuisines. We eat rice, egg rolls.
I'm getting hungry.
We eat rice
Every day.
egg rolls,
Every day.
rice desserts, we have
Every day.
noodles, siopao, tofu, and I mean, pretty much everyone drinks boba. If that isn't evidence enough, I don't know what is.
Jollibee, I love Jollibee.
Jollibee's great. Filipinos can make some good fried chicken, because that's fire.
Talk about how accurate that depiction was of Filipino culture.
I mean, it's like that guy's my brother, you know? He basically described everything that my family does, you know, with the respecting my elders, the food, you know, the boba, and that's what really caught my attention, because, you know, I love boba.
And we celebrate like a lot of the same festivals and everything. We have great food to add in. And I think like, I love like the Asian community, especially because of how diverse we are.
Who are some of your Asian American, and Pacific Islander influences and idols?
Okay, this was kind of recent, but I saw like audition tape of Bruce Lee. He was just so confident in the room when he was just explaining, you know, kung fu and like chi and like energy and all this stuff. I just thought that was really amazing. I was just like, wow, if he can do that back then, you know, you can do anything as an Asian person.
Oh, there's this Filipino comedian. You might have heard of him. His name's Joe Coy.
I love Joe Coy.
He's so funny. And he like, as much as he's funny, he also brings light to the beauty of the Philippines.
Oh my gosh, Catriona Gray, Miss Universe. I think it was 2018. A queen, one of my favorite people to listen to. She speaks so gracefully, so eloquently. It like makes me so proud to be Filipina.
I like Jackie Chan, of course, you know. I love Rush Hour, the whole series. That's one of my favorite movies, and he's definitely an influence to me to be proud of who I am, because I know he loves representing his culture. That's something I definitely know about Jackie Chan. Oh, and Manny Pacquiao. Every time this guy had a boxing match, it would be an instant family party at someone's house with a lot of food and, of course, shoes off.
If I had to be really cheesy, I would say my mom's out there. I think she's done a really good job at raising me until she passed away. And I especially think, coming from someone who's actually none of these things, my father, who embraces, you know, my other side as well. But I don't see him as, you know, non-Asian. I still see him as, you know, part of the family.
And then finally, what words of wisdom would you give to people wanting to learn more about Asian American and Pacific Islander culture?
Ask the people around you. Like, ask them about their stories. Be empathetic, is what I'm kind of saying.
When we say we need help, I promise you we need help. We are not over-exaggerating, and anything helps, whether it's one click on Instagram, adding it to your story, or just a simple retweet. Anything helps.
If you want to learn, I'm going to tell you this right now. Stop using the stereotypes first. Each person is, in fact, different. It is our similarities that make us become friends, but it's our differences that makes our bonds closer.
Hey guys, thanks for watching this episode of React.
If you like this video, please make sure you hit that like button.
Thanks for watching. Bye.
Hey guys, it's Sierra. If you want to get notified every time we post a new episode, then click that notification bell down below. Also, don't forget to subscribe. Okay, bye guys.